Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the Phee Network's Night with Phee at 9 p.m. tonight. But before then, we've got Fee's Sportsball with Sir Isaac the Guru. How you been, Isaac?
I'm back. I'm
back in the saddle again.
I'm ready to get locked back in.
Isaac took a week off after I spanked him like a little child, like I told him I would right here on the Phee Network. He didn't want to show up the next week. So he waits till Phee takes his first loss, when Malik Neighbors is out for the year, when Lamar Jackson plays half the game and he only loses by one. Isaac decides, the Guru, to come back and see Phee. How you been, Isaac?
I've been good. I've been better after that first week. You're right. The combination of losing to you and then I don't think I got a single pick right, so I just decided to take a little sabbatical, maybe get my thoughts back together. I was in a dark place, but I'm ready. I'm ready to come back and miss some more.
He's ready to rock and roll. What he doesn't know is Phee Smee went 6-2 last week with his picks, 3-1 on college and 3-1 in the pros. His winners were Oregon in a big, Notre Dame big, Ole Miss big. His loser?
You got Oregon.
Oh, I knew Oregon. That's the lock of the year. When you give James Franklin, you give a big game, James. No, I'll take
True.
Oregon all the time,
True.
every day. I would have taken Oregon minus the 2.5, much less plus the 2.5. But my loss in college was Georgia minus the 2.5 against Alabama. I then turned around Sunday and took my Detroit Lions that keep crushing everybody, along with KC and Dallas. My only loss was I took a flyer on Tampa Bay at home plus the 3.5 against Philadelphia, and they lost by 6. So 6-2, Guru, last week in your absence. Sir Isaac, let's kick off the show with a little college football.
I like it. What are you going to talk about last week?
Anything and everything. I know you want to talk about Notre Dame and losing your coach. I'm sure of that.
Well, we can wait until you want to designate this part of the show for that conversation?
Absolutely. Anything you want to do, Sir Isaac. This is your show. This is your world, and I'm just glad to be in it.
First of all, that game, I scheduled a tee time on Saturday for 1:10 p.m., which I knew would be right about halftime of our game, and I just gambled on the fact that we were going to be getting whooped, and I knew that I wouldn't want to watch it. I've never been sadder to be right because we were getting killed, but it's just really sad, and I hate it I like Sam Pittman as a person. I think that he's been better than people talk about him as. I mean, I don't think that he ever had a chance of being the answer, but he also wasn't Chad Morris, so I like him as a person. I'm sad for him. I think he loves the state. But then again, it's a job, and just like any job, I thought he would have got fired 2 years ago, to be honest, and he made it this far. And as silly as it sounds, if we have a couple breaks go our way in Ole Miss and Memphis, there's a really decent chance that he doesn't lose his job this year, because I think that it's just it felt like a mindset or like a momentum thing. It reminded me of when we played like Western Kentucky when Chad Morris was the coach, and it's like we just let go of the rope. Like everyone just knew that it was done, knew that we didn't have a chance, and it's like the whole team just looked like they didn't want to be there. I've yet to see that, even in our bad seasons with Sam Pittman, until that game, because I know Notre Dame's like a better team than we are, but they're not that much of a better team. Like the way we played Ole Miss, what do you think? How do you think Ole Miss plays Notre Dame right now? And we shouldn't have lost the game to Ole Miss. I'm not sitting here saying that we should have won the game. I'm just saying I'm trying to use that as a piece of evidence till we just quit, and it just was embarrassing. Our defense is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, he cleaned house Petrino cleaned house, the first day that he was head coach on the defensive coaches. But I don't know. I'm just really sad about it. I think someone the other day was talking to me about how I remember even when we weren't very good, there was years that it was like a given that I was going to go to a couple games. It didn't matter if we were good or not. It was just like the energy in the state was still like, I'm going to make it to a couple Razorback games. When you go to the games, sure, you may get beaten. People may leave in the third or fourth quarter. But to start the game, it's like the energy is just there. And I didn't even realize it or think about this till someone else brought it up. But the last couple years, when I've actually been in a more, as far as free time and financial freedom goes, I've been in a position to go to more games in the last couple years than I've been, in my younger life. And yet now I'm just in this. I still love the Razorbacks. I'll still watch every game, but I didn't even realize that now it's just not as important to me. Like I never would have played golf in a halftime of a football game, like ever, or. Like, I've had the opportunity to go to a couple games, and I've passed on it for other plans, and that just would never happen, and it shouldn't happen, and it's sad to think about that that's where we're at. But I think we have a chance as a program right now to back up what we've been talking about, or Hunter Yurchek came out and tried to overcorrect what he did in his last interview where he said that we don't have the resources to compete or whatever. He tried to kind of overcorrect that, came out and doubled down and said, we're going to put the resources in place. We're going to give the next guy the chance.
What did we say? He had to. That was the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it take him so long?
Because probably after 2 million people, were mad at him.
To save his job, because folks, you don't give the dadgum problem in his position without giving the solution.
No, but he at least talked the talk in his interview. So now it's a chance for us. We did it in basketball, where we had a chance, we had a good coach, got a chance to upgrade and make a big splash hire, actually fork out the resources. We now are competitive in basketball with what we're paying our coach and what we're paying players. We actually backed it up. We have a chance now to kind of reset the course in football, and if he's smart.
As long as you don't hire Dabo Sweeney.
No, you can't. That's the thing, is we can't.
As long as you don't hire Mark Stoops.
No. Or, to be honest, and I like Petrino. I think Petrino's a good coach, but there's two names right now that I'm like major out on, and it's the older guys that have been around the block. It's Petrino and Dan Mullen. Like, I don't want any
gracious.
Older coach. Now, they've both been great coaches in their career at points, but you look at the landscape of college football right now and what's succeeding. It's the younger coaches, and part of that is that all the older guys are now, retired, like your Nick Sabans and those people are now out of it.
If you can't communicate with the 18-year-old, you can't coach like the 23 to 35-year-old. That's why they have the graduate assistants. That's why they have the underlings, the assistant coaches, to be able to be that bridge. But the key winning culture is the head coach being able to speak at their level and still command respect.
Yep.
They want to play for him, but yet they respect him. They want to be around him, but yet they know they can't act a certain way around him.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't be everybody's friend in that position, but you can certainly be a mentor, a father figure. You can certainly be a leader among men, and that's what creates winning cultures. Love, trust. That's what becomes a winning culture. And Dan Mullins, at Mississippi State, if we're recycling Mississippi State head coaches, I'll take Coach Petrino over that every day of the week. The problem in the past with Phee is that I didn't care what the people did off the court or off the field or off the diamond. I didn't worship those people. I just appreciated the talent and loved the games. Now, as I get older and I have a larger priority to my Lord, I think it is important to fill leadership roles, especially with young men these days in this environment with NIL and money, which also brings along all of the sins of this world at a young age where young men don't have a lot of reps. I think it's very important that we try to mold young men, and the way you do that is to hire strong leaders that are going to honor their commitments in marriage, honor their commitments in business. So I think Coach Petrino is a great coach. I think he is older. I believe we need to go in a different direction. I don't think we're going to win 6 or 7 in a row. I didn't think we would do that with any coach this year because of our defensive line. And the bottom line is, the bottom line is he had to fire the defensive coaches.
Yeah.
But any time that you fire coaches during the season, whoever you replace them with, whoever it is not going to have the same level of respect that the other ones did.
No, it's
it takes
super
time
rare.
to develop those relationships,
Mm-hmm.
not a week. And where's he going to go get the players? It's about the players, Isaac.
Yeah, no, we don't have the player. We had the level of players we had required a coach to overcompensate for the players, and we don't obviously now. Well, we didn't have that, and now we obviously don't have that. So no, we're done for. It's fine. I mean, like I've kind of I've accepted where we're at currently. I don't think people realize, except for I don't even think really the whole state of Arkansas realizes this, but there's so much potential in the state of Arkansas for being like a great program, and I just think that you've got to win back. You're fighting an uphill battle now where you got to win back all the fans and stuff that you've exhausted over the last few years. Like right now, our fans act like we're a basketball school. We're not a basketball school. I love that we're good at and competitive at basketball, but we're in the South. We're not basketball schools. We're football schools.
They say the same thing about baseball. See, we're one of the only 5 schools in the country that can create revenue and have our baseball program standing on its own feet. But for as far as revenue is concerned, football is king.
Yes,
It'll always be king.
And we gotta realize that it's worth forking up the money and forking up the resources. And that again, we have a chance for them to demonstrate that. I remember in the last coaching search, I'm not going to sit here and say that I was upset about Sam Pittman being the hire. I liked Sam Pittman, but we lost the opportunity on a couple guys because we probably didn't fork up the money. And so they went somewhere that did. And you now have a chance to be the school who is going to fork up the money to get the guy you want. And to be honest, statistics will say that no matter if you get the guy you want or not, there's a better chance that he's not the guy than that he is, but you just got to be willing to go after him. You can't have a 1, 2, and 3 option and then them go somewhere else because you couldn't do what you need to do to hire him. You got to be able to go get your guy, show the state that like, hey, we're ready to fork up what we need to compete. Go get your guy, hire the assistants, pay the money, support the NIL stuff as much as I hate that whole thing. I mean, you got to be able to pay.
Got to play. You got to pay to play.
And we need to start paying Hunter Yurachek. I think has strong values. Sam Pittman has strong values. I'm not saying they have to jeopardize those, but right now the winning schools are painting in the gray area of the NIL rules, and I think that we've been trying to play it innocently, unless I'm reading the situation wrong. I think we've been trying to do the right thing, and I think that there's a middle ground between the wrong thing and the right thing. And if you don't find a way to compete, you're just going to do this every year. It doesn't matter who you get. So, anyways, I'm sad of where we're at, but I'm just ready. I'm ready to finish out the season and then find the guy. I haven't looked a ton into it, but the couple of names that I've at least heard right now that I could get really excited about is John Summerall from Tulane. Yeah, young guy, played football in the SEC. He's been an assistant in a couple places. Short head coaching career so far.
Good offense.
But he went and took a Troy job, and Troy's a horrible program, and all he did there was win. He takes a Tulane job. He's won there. I actually listened to an hour-long podcast with him right after we fired Sam Pittman, and he's just
he sell you?
Yeah, I mean, he's just the type of guy who seems like he's a no-nonsense. He kind of is on the perfect line of doesn't give a crap about what you think, but also he's a very strong, morally, he's not going to be out here saying outrageous things, but at the same time, he's not going to be quiet about what he feels, and he played linebacker at Kentucky, and if you listen to him talk for 10 minutes, you're like, yeah, he played linebacker.
He's got the right last name to come to Arkansas because Pat Summerall is one of the greatest alumni of the University of Arkansas, and went and played in the NFL with Bart Starr at the Green Bay, and then went on CBS with John Madden for years and years as Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Yeah.
So if he's a Summerall, he'll be welcome in the state of Arkansas. I think he's a fine coach.
I think so too. I think he's worth taking a shot on. The one I'm not as sold on as everyone else is SMU's coach.
Rhett Lashley.
I don't think
Springdale
that
boy.
that's why it feels like everything feels like that's gonna be what happens, I could.
Instead of it feeling like the first time, it just feels like it's just another Houston nut cycle.
Yeah, or not to compare him to Chad Morris, but the vibes with the SMU thing are
You
not
don't like
helpful. They're not helpful. I know it has nothing to do with the school of SMU, but
Hey, I was in the stadium in 1984 with Eric Dickerson, Craig James. I'm here to tell you those Pony Express boys in Arkansas was going to beat them. But the old referee, just go check the old pass interference call against the Hogs. I was there, I can tell you, ugly, almost as bad as the 1970 Liberty Bowl when they called Tennessee's no good field goal good, and they win the game. So, yes, Pat Summerall was a great man. You've got John Summerall.
the only other one I've got above Rhett Lashley, because I'll take him over Bob Petrino, Dan Millens. Like, he's not in that category for me. But
I don't want him.
this one's a bigger risk, but a name I heard, I think it was yesterday, was Fran Brown, which is Syracuse coach.
I'll pass.
He was a assistant at Georgia. He was their defensive backs coach, and I think it was like 3 years of his assistant career, he's been voted. 1 year he's voted best recruiter in the nation, and then 2 other years he was like up there in the running for it. He is supposed to be like a heck of a recruiter, younger guy. The biggest thing he's got going for him as a head coach, which is like literally just, I think he was somewhere before Syracuse, but it's the fact that he's won at Syracuse, which is
You can't do.
exactly
Like winning
but
at Vanderbilt.
It would be a big risk because he's young, he's not as proven, and you would be taking a little bit of a long shot. But the fact that he has some SEC ties, he's coached in the SEC as an assistant. If he can win at Syracuse, that says a lot to me because I joke about Syracuse a lot.
If you can win at Syracuse, if you can win at Vanderbilt, if you can win at Tulane, if you can win at Rice, if you can win at Minnesota, if you can win at Iowa State, those are traditionally terrible football programs that certain coaches have turned around.
Yep, I agree. But we'll see. It's going to be a long process. It's not going to be like one of those deals where it happens at the end of the year and it's like everyone's tracking flights and it's like bang, bang, bang. It's going to be a 3-month ordeal, 2-month ordeal.
Folks,
so.
if Bobby Petrino wins, it'll take a long time because there will be a camp that's been in the weeds. And if he wins some football games that he's not supposed to, which he's capable of doing, then you'll have a lot of people fighting for him to keep his job.
Oh, I know.
And you'll have just as many that say, I don't care if he goes in undefeated and wins a national championship, I'm not going to support him. Which means just move on.
100%.
Cut bait and move on.
And it's not like you said. I think you made a comment. It's nothing against him, but that's not the future of your program. It's like the type of guy you hire to limp in between a few years. You don't hire him as the future, but there's been like apparently just a super casual coup that's been staged to get Bobby Petrino back as the head coach of Arkansas.
I mean, people said it as soon as he was hired as this offensive coordinator. They said it right then.
Man.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I like Coach Petrino. I like his offense. But I just, in my opinion, he interim coach throughout the year. Then you just go in a different direction. You find a man that's going to pony up just like the Tysons did, just like Rupert Murdoch did with hello, son. Me and Isaac are on air right now. You're live.
I had no idea.
Wow.
All the way from Delaware, ladies and gentlemen, my oldest son, Drew Smith. Say hello, Drew.
Hey, Daddy. How you doing?
I'm rocking and rolling right here with Isaac. You want to participate in our picks today, or you want me to call you back?
I'll pick one game for you, and then I'll let you guys, as the experts, take over and lead people to a bunch of success. And you can call me back at another time.
All right. Which game would you like to choose, or would you like Isaac to pick a game for you and you tell us the winner?
Oh, wow. I would love to let Isaac pick a game for me.
Pick one college, Isaac, one pro.
Miami at Florida State. The spread is Miami minus 3.5.
Miami minus 3.5 at Florida State. Who do you have?
Oh, the convicts of Miami taking on Florida State and Mike Norvell. Is it Mike Norvell?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Miami Hurricanes here. They've got a former Georgia quarterback as their transfer, now star. He drives a Lamborghini, Carson Beck. His car gets stolen, but he's going to still pull over the win on Florida State. And Mike Norvell, 3 points.
Mike with a question mark, Norvell.
All I can tell you is that is my pick of the week. Also, that is the brilliant Mr. President, all the way from Delaware, ladies and gentlemen, on the Phee Network. His debut, picking Miami -3 against the Seminoles of Florida State. Now we will go to the Guru's professional game for Mr. President to pick.
There's no other option other than this one for you, Drew. But how about Philadelphia versus the Broncos -3.5 in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia at home, -3.5 against the Broncos of Denver. Go right ahead, Mr. President.
Thank you, Guru, and thank you, Phee. I appreciate that. Well, I hate to be a homer, but until they lose, I can't pick against the Birds, and I'll pick them to cover 2.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. It's one of the great movies of all time, Invincible. It is fantastic. I would tell you to watch it right tonight if you haven't yet. Sir Isaac, the Guru, with the Mr. President. I will call you back later, but I certainly appreciate you making an appearance on the show.
Love you, Drew.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you too,
See
son.
Guru. Keep up the good work, everybody. Bye-bye.
And that is one of the future leaders in America right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Very true. Very true.
And one of Isaac's good friends. Isaac will be actually visiting with Mr. President here shortly, seeing a game at Fly Eagle Fly Stadium, Lincoln.
Yeah, we're going to watch the Eagles cover against the Broncos is what we're going to do.
Ooh. I thought that was this weekend.
It is?
You're going this weekend?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we just had some breaking news right here on the Phee Network. The Guru, Sir Isaac, will be traveling in the skies this weekend to see Mr. President and going to Lincoln Field to watch Philadelphia play the Broncos of Denver. I think it'll be quite a game. Denver's got a great defense. Philadelphia is playing top football right now. As we will get into that in our pro football section of Fee's Sportsball with Sir Isaac, the Guru. How do you want to finish up on our college, sir? We got to get some picks in sooner or later.
We'll run through just super fast a couple things.
We don't need to be super fast. We spent 45 minutes on Arkansas's football vacancy.
That's why we got to be super fast on the other stuff.
I mean, it's just now 6:46 Central Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. So you go right ahead and get slow.
Virginia beating Florida State was a big game. I actually have. I don't remember if we've talked about it on here, so I'm not just trying to, in hindsight, claim things. But I've not been a huge believer in Florida State so far, only because they kind of come across as kind of like the Ravens to me. Like when they are playing ahead, they've got that quarterback that runs a ton, and it seems like they just run the ball all over everybody, but the kid hasn't had a throw. And then when they have played from behind, obviously look like a different offense, but the Ravens kind of do that too. It's like when they're ahead and they can run the ball with Lamar and Derrick Henry, you ain't catching up because they're just going to run it, chew the clock up, and they're going to score. But when you make them have to throw and change kind of what they've been, what their identity's been, they look different. That's kind of what Florida State looked like to me. I'm not a believer in them as far as like being a national title contender. I think they're okay. They've got a lot of good players.
They're better than Clemson in Sir Guru's book. I can assure you that.
So is Arkansas.
Oh, mercy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me give you a little bit of your hillbilly economics. When your out goes more than your income, your upkeep's going to be your downfall. Right here on the Phee Network, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard it. Sir Isaac Guru just said Florida State is not a national champion contender. I will tell you that Miami spanks them this weekend by more than a touchdown.
I think so too.
Go right ahead, Guru.
I got Ohio State. I've had on here about their defense. I made up this stat myself because I was looking at their past performances and noticed all the scores of the other team. Ohio State has yet to give up more than 10 points this year against anybody, and they've given up a total of 22 combined points through their games so far. And then I looked up how much Arkansas has given up just for fun. So Ohio State's given up 22 combined points on the year, and to this point, Arkansas's defense has given up 150. So that's pretty good.
Well, can you divide 150 by 4 games?
It's a lot for a defense to give up. But yes, I can. It's what is it? 30.
You're right, 30 before he moved.
37, 37 and a half would be what it is, right?
Well, no, if through 4 games, you know what it would be. 150. Come on.
Yeah, divided by 4. 37 and a half.
You got to go. Come on.
That's
Come
right.
on now.
I think that's
37
right.
and a half. Puts it right at 75. Puts it right at 150. And you, Guru, have done your math.
Oh, good.
See how you make them nervous? See how you make them a little nervy? You think they just don't know the correct answer.
But Ohio State is – there's honestly – it feels like – I think it's just the transfer portal NIL stuff that we've been talking about for every week, but it just feels like there's not the dominant teams like right now. In the past, decade, it's like you've got 2 or 3 teams that are just thumping people every week, and you just know.
You still do, Guru. You just don't know which ones they are yet. But Phee knows who they are.
I don't think anyone does, because even like Ohio State, it's like their offense hasn't had to do much. It's not like they're just out here lighting the world on fire. They do have a great defense, that's a fact, but all your schools, other than the Oregon and Penn State game was a big game for kind of seeing how they perform, but even coming out of that game, I still think Penn State has the team to compete for a national championship, even though they lost to Oregon. I mean,
Penn State's got a good football team, probably go 10-2, 11-1, and be in the football playoffs, and they will not win a national championship because they just can't seem to do it. They're real lucky last year. Nobody wants to talk about it, but Georgia had them beat. That it was Notre Dame, one of them, but they scored like 18 points in like the last 29 seconds of the first half. That's how they beat Georgia.
Their coach finds a way to lose those games. I actually thought I think
they might have been Notre Dame that beat Georgia. So who did Penn State win, and then who they lose to?
I thought they lost to Notre Dame.
No, they lost to Notre Dame.
I'm not.
No, you're
sure.
right. You're exactly right.
But this is a super weird spin on how that game went. They did kind of the opposite. They lost in an opposite way of what they've been losing. Usually, they come out, look great, have a lead, and are just scared to win games. This game, they actually almost looked like they figured it out in the fourth quarter and did the exact opposite. And that was their best quarter. They remembered that they had skill players on the field and that they had a good quarterback, and they actually started moving the ball and scoring points. So
People don't know how good Oregon's offense is because Penn State held them in check most of that game.
Oh, yeah.
And probably will score. They'll probably score less points in that game than any other game this year.
I guarantee it.
Because Oregon people don't believe it.
Unless they play Ohio State. Does Oregon play Ohio State?
I do not think so this year, but I certainly hope they do. They played last year. That's why I say they don't play this year.
But yeah, I think both those teams have a chance. Ole Miss and LSU, I appreciated that the who calls who daddy drama came to a conclusion. And Lane Kiffin showed the LSU linebacker who I'm probably not going to finish saying
that. That is a coach that's polarizing, but is getting the young people energized by doing stuff just like that. Who's your daddy?
He lets them
He's
dunk.
their daddy.
He lets them dunk on the sideline and let the basketball roll onto the field against Arkansas is what he does.
Well, they're going to twist an ankle. Somebody will blow an Achilles or an ACL out, and then that'll stop. As soon as they did it the first time, here's what I thought. The coaching and theology came out in me immediately. If they do that 100 times, somebody will blow out an ankle.
Yeah.
It's just the law of large numbers.
And I kind of hope they do.
So I know
I
you
didn't
do.
say that.
Yes, you did. Bottom line is he took a week off. He was scared to come back to see Phee after Phee told him Ole Miss would take it to Arkansas. And then Phee again tells him that the lock of the week is Memphis plus over a touchdown against Arkansas. He's an Arkansas homer. Folks, when you're handicapping, you don't have any loyalty. When you're a fan, you have loyalty. You can pick with your heart or you can pick with your head. The bottom line is stay away from the Arkansas games if you're picking with your heart.
Oh yeah, I normally do. Although the Memphis game should not have been a winner for you, but
Shoulda, woulda, and coulda. Lamar Jackson and Malik Neighbors shouldn't have got hurt in the same week and me lose by 1 on fantasy football. Life's not fair. There wouldn't be a need for wheelchairs. So.
No, but I don't. I'm still, and I'm not just saying this because I don't like Lane Kiffin. I'm still not going to be an Ole Miss believer yet. I think LSU is just worse than they should be.
You called it since the beginning. I'm an LSU fan. You called it since the beginning. Ole Miss is just like Penn State. They're good enough to go to the dance, but they're not the dadgum queen.
No, they may not even make it to the dance because they'll drop a couple games and they'll be right on the border of the decision again. And
you boys better watch out for Miami with this quarterback that's got a winning culture from Georgia. You better watch out from Georgia. Notre Dame will get in at 10-2. Texas will be better. I can assure you that Oregon's not going away and Ohio State will be there. Here's the wild cards: Tennessee, Ole Miss, Penn State. You've got them in every conference to where they think they're good enough to win. They're good enough to be there. And then anything happens. I mean, how does SMU and Clemson get in last year? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ridiculous.
It really is. And I hate to admit it because I love the SEC. I still think the SEC is the deepest conference by far, but I don't think the SEC's top end is as good as the Big Ten right now. I really don't. I don't think.
Well, there's an honest opinion, folks, because you won't hear that down in the South very often.
No, I think that in the past, the way it's looked is we've had a couple dominant teams, and then we've also been the deepest. We no longer have the dominant teams. We've got 4 teams that could probably compete with anyone in the country, but no teams that I would put my bank account on them being the best team in the country. In the Big Ten right now, I'm not sure that.
That's a 2-team race. Oregon, Ohio State. They'll play for the Big Ten
maybe
championship.
Even Penn State too, but
again, Penn State's good enough to get there. They're good enough to get there.
We don't have those dominant teams anymore.
Well, I mean, let's just tell the truth. The SEC has spoiled a lot of folks. But just like in college basketball and just like in college baseball, the SEC is by far the best conferences because top to bottom, there's 6 teams that can beat anybody in the country any week. And you see it in baseball, they beat up on each other all year long. You see it in basketball where they were just dominant last year and everybody was picking 3 of them to be in the SEC in the Final 4. It just doesn't happen that way. Ohio State wins the first BCS playoff, then they don't win another one. Now they win the first 12-team playoff, and I'm telling you this year, they won't win another. One SEC team will win the national championship this year. Phee said it right here.
I like it. I hope so. I'm tired of hearing about it. I do think it's the truth right now, but I'm tired of hearing about the Big Ten. I don't care about the Big 12. They don't. Who do they have? But
well, obviously, you don't even know Houston has a football team.
They don't. I'm not abandoning that take.
I have a feeling you're going to lose the next time that you pick against them.
Oh no, I'm not, because that's this week.
Okie dokie, bro. Here we go again. Hey, he's not stubborn whatsoever.
No.
And he's right lots of the time. He ought to be crowing about Clemson. Crowing about that quarterback since he's been saying since the beginning.
Do I have to, though? They made it not even fun anymore.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You make it fun, Sir Guru.
Make it fun. They made it not even fun for me. It's so gross to watch. I can't even celebrate it.
All right. Well, let's rock and roll with some upset picks or some picks for college football this week.
Let's do this week. First of all, just for fun, and I don't care about this game as far as betting goes, but I wanted to appoint the crap show of the week game, which goes to Clemson versus North Carolina.
Oh, we're back into Clemson.
I mean, there's not words that exist in the English language for me to express how much I do not want to watch that football game.
Carolina, New Orleans.
It's
that's what you want. That's what you're saying. That's how you're trying to explain it.
It's worse than that.
It's worse than that?
It's worse than that. North Carolina is a laughing. I mean, Jordan, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, is coaching North Carolina. I don't even know what Bill Belichick's doing.
She's so fine. She's so fine, too.
he thinks she is too,
She's
obviously.
so fine.
But North Carolina is a joke, and Clemson is.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think really goes through his mind? Do you ever think that he thinks that he looks like a clown coaching college football with a 25-year-old girlfriend?
That's what.
Do you? I mean, does it enter his mind, or does he think he's just earned so much cred it being a professional football winningest coach as far as Super Bowls?
I think, hot take, and this is breaking news here first when we find this out years down the road, I think she may be a witch.
Again, folks, Fee's been censored in Russia already. There's no sense in Sir Isaac Guru to be any different than anybody else I have on. They're controversial. So now we have Bill Belichick's 25 or 24, whatever girlfriend being an alleged witch.
I don't want to get Salem all fired up, but no, I think that here's the deal. Bill Belichick, we have all seen for my entire life and for a lot of people for longer than that, he has always been known as one of the most dry, stubborn, hard-headed people, successful coaches ever.
That is the image of him and Nick Saban, but that's not the fact. They are very fun-loving people when you get around them.
You will never convince me that man has completely changed who he is because of that girl. It's the most mind-blowing thing. It's actually so mind-blowing that people aren't even talking about it anymore because we all can't even understand
He's so
it.
young, folks. Since the beginning of time, wealthy men have made fools of themselves over young women. Nothing is new with that situation whatsoever. I just have to tell you, he obviously is sexy as can be to the female race. I mean, I just never looked at him with that hoodie on and thought, man, that's a good-looking dude.
She doesn't either.
Okay. Well,
she doesn't either.
You need to be at least somewhat physically attractive.
No, you don't. What's attractive to her is the platform and the bank account. That's the only thing that's attractive to her in the publicity.
Why do you think that is when younger women really are love and desire older men?
What I just said.
That you think it's all about the money every time, or it's all about a daddy issue?
Not every time. I think in this case. So, I mean, I'll admit when there's an older guy who may have an infectious personality or maybe a good-looking older guy. This is not that case. It's not. She wants the platform and she wants the money. That's it. You'll never convince anybody that that's not the case.
There you go, folks. I totally agree with him in a lot of those points. I will tell you that it is more and more common with me doing the coaching theology and the night show, answering love and life skills questions, is that there are a lot of questions about older women dating younger men and younger women dating older men. And because of society and culture is pushing that on the internet or while you're scrolling, that is the in thing now, as far as the culture is concerned. But see, when I think, again, folks, I'm 61 and have been terminally ill and now feeling good, and my Lord is showing me that I will be married again. So I don't look at an age gap problem other than, do I want to take on the responsibility of raising a 7 and a 9-year-old? Do I want to date someone that in 10 years from now, she's going to be 40 and I'm going to be 71? I mean, see, those things aren't attractive to me. No. But to some men, they are attractive to. I would tell you 90% of it is physical.
I agree.
But
from the man side, yes. From the female side, I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's literally polar opposite.
Well, you can see rock stars, lead singers that couldn't find a girlfriend if their names weren't and they were on stage singing, and they are loved by many. That's because female psychology, once they realize that other women are attracted to you, it stimulates them to win, to get there and to be yours. Men are not like that whatsoever. Men are pretty simple. Women are creative, intellectual creatures. They do a whole lot of thinking to where you, Sir Isaac Guru, can spend 3 hours on your show notes and watch 12 hours of football during the day and think that is life as good as it can get. They are very creative in their thinking. So I don't know what it is about Bill Belichick with that hoodie, But I'll tell you one thing. He's not going to be successful at North Carolina whether he's dating an 85-year-old or whether he's dating a 25-year-old.
No, he's literally just ruining. He's heavily tarnishing his legacy as a coach, which a lot of people would have told you that it wasn't possible for him to do that, but he is.
But it is not mine or your business to tell him who to date and for what reason is exactly what our culture would say.
Well, I don't like I don't care what our culture says. Ever. Really. I think he's an idiot. And I would tell him that to his face.
You just
and
did.
He obviously doesn't have enough people in his life telling him that. That's the crazy part. Or he just doesn't listen, which wouldn't surprise me because he is stubborn. But anyways, that was a rabbit trail, but
it's a good rabbit trail to go in because you see some of Sir Isaac the Guru's actual loving nature, a sweet spirit, kind-hearted, but he has strict boundaries and he has a strict faith that he believes in, and that's where he's going to stand. So I like strong takes, Sir Isaac, and you are always a strong take man.
Oh, I've always got.
You can take the criticism from the other side.
You can count on me having strong takes, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, give me another strong take on a win because so far what you've told me is don't watch the Clemson North Carolina game.
Let's go. I'll go into some picks rather than going through the big games, but we'll start with, we already kind of talked about it. I love Miami minus 3.5 versus Florida State.
Winner.
Love it. I just think that they're going to outclass them. I think Florida State's quarterback really, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not going to sit up here and say that because he's not overrated. Like no one talked about him before the season as if he's this stud. He's played well.
He's going to play well too, but he's facing a good defense, and he's going to face an offense that's going to score plenty.
I don't think he's that level of
45-31 would not surprise me.
But let's see another one. Virginia is a 6.5-point dog at Louisville. Louisville is pretty solid. They actually had a big comeback win against Pitt last week. It looked really ugly at the start. They finished super strong, ended up getting the win. Virginia is obviously coming off a huge win.
There's your line with the public.
I don't necessarily think – it wouldn't surprise me if they just rolled up and won that game outright, but I just like it's a big spread for the momentum that they've got, and I'm not confident enough in Louisville to just feel great about they're going to beat them by a touchdown. They may beat them by 3, but I like Virginia.
Where's
plus
the game?
6.5 in Louisville.
A lot more than a touchdown or less?
Less by half a point, plus 6.5.
Well, you've got momentum and energy carrying Virginia. I don't know about their health playing against that team, and I certainly at this point would tell you that Louisville's comeback lucky win against Pitt, Virginia is every bit as good as Pitt.
Yeah, and I think I just don't.
I would not play that game, but if I would play it, I'd take the plus points.
I think if Virginia didn't win or didn't play as good last week, I wouldn't. I'm just going to rock with the momentum. I like Texas minus 6.5 versus Florida. That's not me saying that I think Texas is ready yet, but I think that Florida's in real bad shape, and I think that Texas's defense is elite.
Phee Smee's tip of the week from the handicapper and the rapper White Chocolate will say, when you have a team that has a excellent defense and a team that can score a lot of points, you take that team. And Texas will beat Florida like a drum this week. There you go.
The swamp isn't the swamp when they're ready to fire their coach.
He's already fired.
Yeah, it's.
And Texas has got to win, and Art Manning has got to turn it on, or he's going to continue to be talked about as average.
He's got another week to kind of. He's had chances to change the storyline. This week is another chance because he looked rough. They didn't get any attention last week because they played a nobody, and he quietly was responsible for like 5 touchdowns. Was like 18 for 21, I think, throwing the ball. Threw for 3 touchdowns, no picks, ran for 2. So he had a game where he looked like he could do what he wanted. And so you go away, maybe get some confidence, and now you've got another chance to come out and be like, all right, we finally got our head on straight
Mojo back,
and we're ready to go. But if you come out and kind of fall flat again, you barely win the game, then we're right back to square zero saying he just ain't going to get it done.
If it's a 17-10 final, it will really surprise me. I think Texas comes out and scores 35 minimum, and I don't think Florida wants to get off the bus under that coach in that environment that you talking about letting loose the rope. You'll find out real quick this week if they get down by 2 touchdowns in that swamp, and that swamp's either half empty or I mean, those folks are already tired. They've been dealing with this for 5 years.
Oh yeah.
You have to go back a long time for Florida to not be any good. Okay?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
When Miami and Florida State were great, Florida was not.
You remember the other quarterback I was really passionate about not being good?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would say the Clemson quarterback was number one.
He was number one.
But number 2 is the LSU quarterback that you're making fun of me about.
He wasn't number 2.
He was?
He was not number 2.
Oh, okay, well then tell me, who is number 2?
DJ Lagway was number 2, Florida's quarterback.
Yeah, DJ Lagway. Yeah, again, you have talked about him like you have the Clemson boy because he was so highly rated.
Yeah, because they talk about him like that he's the next Lamar, and he's not that good. I'll tell you a game that I love. I think this is my favorite game of the week, which means I'll lose it by 30 points. Mississippi State plus 16.5 at A&M. I love it. I think Mississippi State, I don't think that they're one of the best teams in the country, but I think that they have kind of quietly had a really solid season so far. They're not going to be a playoff team. They're not going to be one of the best teams in the SEC, but they have played a very solid season, which for Mississippi State is not super common, but that's also why it's been quiet, because no one cares. But they've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat super handily. They went and beat Arizona State.
Which you called.
Yes.
And you're fixing to get right again with them. You're fixing to call them again. Sounds like to me, Guru, you're leaning that way.
I think A&M is, right now in my brain, I think A&M is not near as good as what they look like. I don't think their quarterback is very good.
They're the Aggies. They're going to choke once a year.
I really do think I'm going to bet the spread and maybe a tad bit on the money line, but I'm telling you right now, it would not surprise me in the slightest if Mississippi State beats A&M in A&M. I really, I love it.
No way in the world, Sir Isaac, that the Bulldogs come in. It's an all-maroon game in front of 110,000. I'm telling you right now, Mississippi State plays them well. But then A&M's athletes come on. I mean, that's a great hire for Mississippi State. What a phenomenal that's like saying Vanderbilt's going to go into Alabama and win this weekend. They certainly got a shot. But you just don't say that.
I'm not going to put my foot down in the past weeks where I've said this team's going to win. That's not where I'm at in this game. I love the spread.
6.5?
16.5.
Oh, well, that makes me a lot happier.
So the spread.
I thought you were going to tell me less than a touchdown. Yes, I like the spread. Okay.
But if I bet 20 on the spread, I'm going to put 5 on money line because I think that there is a chance they can get it done. I'm not a firm believer, but I think that's a crazy spread. That's one of those that makes me wonder if I'm a crazy person because I don't understand. Maybe I've been watching a different season than Vegas.
Well, I really would like for Mississippi State to come out.
If Mississippi State comes out strong and A&M has to play from behind, their quarterback's going to get exposed really fast because he cannot. He's the same as the Florida State quarterback. He's a worse version of Taylor Green to me, where I think he is super electric running the ball. He's a really good athlete, but he is not a. If you put him in a position where they've got to throw the ball to win a game, I'm gonna feel pretty strongly that they ain't gonna be able to come back because he is not that good. I think they're overrated. I don't think they're a contender, but right now everyone else thinks they are.
Crowd will be a factor, and they will beat Mississippi State in College Station. But the line intrigues me. It's more than 2 touchdowns. If it was 17.5, I'd really like it.
Yeah. A couple more quick ones, and that you'll laugh at this one. Texas Tech minus 11.5 at Houston.
Ah, what?
But Houston
What?
is bad.
Oh,
and
my
Texas
goodness
Tech,
gracious.
Texas
the boys
Tech.
still five slamma jamma, five slamma jamma, five slamma jamma.
Texas Tech is really good. I think they just
Texas, the Red Raiders of Texas.
they've been talking about them since the beginning of the year. They said they spent more NIL money this year than anybody else.
That is correct.
And they went into Utah, beat Utah in a big game, and they've just
I think you called that one, didn't you? Or did you
I
lose
actually
that
had
one?
Utah.
Okay, you lost on that one, so now you're jumping on the other side, the bandwagon.
Only because
boy.
they're playing Houston.
Man, well, and Houston's already, as Phee has told you before, it beats him every time. What's the line again, you say?
11.5.
11.5 at Houston.
They beat them by 21
At Houston.
at Houston. What's
Okay.
they have 15 fans at their home stadium. Who
Again,
cares?
he doesn't know because Houston now is filling up. They've probably got 45,000 fans there.
They don't have
You know,
a stadium
they're
that can
in
fit
one of the
40.
largest cities in the United States, the number one city when it comes to square miles in the United States of America. It's not like they can have 0.3% of their population and they'll have 43,000. So, I mean, yeah, I know it looks bad in a 75,000 seat stadium, but I'm telling you, those Houston Cougars will play at home well.
You know what?
There's a money line pick I might take with. You're talking about, I mean, giving me 11.5 points for a team that called the Texas Tech. Do they have Patrick Mahomes playing for them?
They don't need to have Patrick Mahomes playing.
Is that boy that good down there?
No, they're just a good team, and
Okay.
Houston's a really bad team.
I,
You know what? After you said that about the big city and all that, and you like Houston, I kind of maybe like Houston. Just kidding. Houston's going to get murdered at home. It's going to be murdered. They're going to have to turn the TV off for graphic content because they're going to get murdered by Texas Tech. You're about to find out who the better jerseys are and who the better red color is. It's Texas Tech, and they're going to kill them.
I like both their uniforms. I think it would be very cool for Mississippi State to show up at College Station with maroon pants and white shirts, and then A&M wear the white pants and the maroon shirts.
You wouldn't even know who's who. See, and that Mississippi State doesn't even know it's an away game. They look up in the stands and they see maroon. They think they're at home.
There you go. But they'll have the white helmets on.
But
No matter what their uniform will look like, which I bet will be all white, and Texas might be in all maroon, but it's still going to be a great game.
yeah, it should. It should. Well,
As far as the way the looks, I'm
be-
talking about the aesthetics, the fashion, the beauty. He's thinks I'm talking about the game.
Well, because it won't be. So I'm glad you're not. My last college
So he
pick
likes Texas
is-
Tech minus 11.5 against my Cougars of Houston. Go right ahead.
Last pick I got is Iowa State is actually a 1.5 point dog versus Cincinnati at Cincinnati, which I don't think Iowa State is. They're undefeated so far, and I don't really think that they're like a big dog in the college football landscape. But I think that seems a little crazy that they're a dog.
Most handicappers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, right here on the Face Me Network, will give you another tip. Anytime you see a line right there, immediately people will say that is a trap game.
Oh, it is.
Because that line should be a lot more than 1.5. But what they don't know is Cincinnati plays real well at home and can play defense. Sometimes, wasn't a few years ago where they actually made a big run. But in reality, Vegas doesn't think a lot about Iowa State, and the public's going to load up on Iowa State, and that's just what they call a trap game. What is your thoughts, Gary?
I'm just falling for it. I like Iowa State. I'll probably just bet the money line because they're a 1.5 point dog. But I mean, that's just a game.
If
they
you'd
should
have
win.
told me, again, I haven't seen the lines. If you'd have said to me, Iowa State's minus 6.5 against Cincinnati at Cincinnati, I wouldn't have thought you were lying at all.
Me either.
Much less having plus 1.5, you're getting a dog pick,
And
you have great momentum with your the underdog picks. You're going nuts throughout the year with the underdog picks.
You're right that it's a trap line. I mean, it 100% is a trap line, but I'm a sucker for traps. I get too stubborn sometimes, and I just think
He tends to get in those snares.
they're just a better team, and I know that the line's that for a reason, and I know that Vegas looks like it does for a reason, but I can't help it.
Are you one of these hunters that actually goes and puts feed out for the deers to come and makes them really appreciative? That way when you get to deer season, you can just go ahead and get your meat, because that's a trap game right there.
I don't trap deer.
Well, then I did. Okay, so when you hunt, you actually go. There is no, hey, let's put out a feeding plot.
I do before I hunt to get them coming to the area, but when they start hanging out in the area, then I don't do that.
Game plan.
Sit on the corn pile.
Okay. Anyway, I just want to know when you were talking about trap games, I just wonder because that to me is just leading you right into deception, making you feel really good.
But does it make it better if I know that it is?
And still make the same mistake because of what you call stubbornness?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's a game to stay away from, but if you play it and Guru is on fire, it's the one that will win by 38. Nobody will blink an eye at it. I mean, I tell you what, right now, Iowa State 38, Cincinnati 7. Nobody would say a word.
Let me tell you a little parlay. I'm gonna bet on two. It's gonna be a $2 money line parlay. I'm gonna have Iowa State in it. I'm gonna have Mississippi State in it, and I'm gonna have Virginia in it.
For the gamblers out there that know that every time they say $1, it's 100, and every time they say a nickel, it's 500, and every time they say a dime, it's 1,000. So Sir Isaac is really telling you he's not playing $2.
Oh,
like
literally
$200. He's going to actually play $2 George Washington dollars. So I want to clear that up for you guys out there in Mr. and Mrs. Betland.
$2.
2.00.
Yes, $2. If you wrote it on a check, it would say TW0 dollars and 0 over 100. $2.
But if you was talking to a bookie, you'd say, give me 5 dimes on plus 1.5. That'd be 5,000. Or you'd say, give me $2 on Iowa plus 1.5, and that'd be $200.
And for me, it would be $2.50, 5 dimes.
Again, you have to understand that you're not talking to you. You're talking to folks that are actually trying to make money.
Financial responsibility. You're still making money. Your ROI is great. Doesn't matter how much it is. You got to look at the percentage of increase.
That's exactly right. And that's why you're here, Sir Isaac the Guru.
And that being said,
you like Iowa State plus 1.5.
Butt kicked last week, the last 2 weeks. Even betting $2. So
he lost a Happy Meal and probably went on a date too. So that probably cost him some money. He's down, but he's making good money. He's working hard. He's traveling throughout the state. He's heading up crews. He's curing disasters, taking care of them, taking care of people. And I have to tell you that when he spends hours upon hours getting ready for his 27 fantasy football leagues and his appearance here on Phee Sportsball with Sir Isaac the Guru, he loves it.
I do love it. I do love it, and I also hate losing, whether it's 50 cents or $50. I hate it the exact same.
You hate losing, period.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter about the prize.
No, it does
It's
not.
like playing $1 a hole. It's $1 a hole playing golf. You know,
Well,
it's about winning the $4.
I could lose the $4 and be sick to my stomach.
Yeah, because you'd be mad about losing to your fellow golfers.
True.
That is men in general, from a men's psychology.
That's all I got for college.
You heard it right now. Go back over. It's been so long. Give us the picks only.
All right. Iowa State plus 1.5 versus Cincinnati. Texas minus 6.5 versus Florida. Virginia plus 6.5 versus Louisville. Texas Tech minus 11.5 versus Houston. Miami minus 3.5 versus Florida State. Mississippi State plus 16.5 versus A&M. And then if you want the upset money lines, Iowa State money line, Mississippi State, and Virginia.
There you go, folks. Moving right along to professional football, I can tell you with my injuries that last week, I had a good week at 3-1. Let's review some games this week, Guru. And what do you think about last week's games before we move forward?
I think the most important thing that we have to talk about before anything else when talking about last week's games is that in any sporting event that we claim to care about, ties should never be a thing. Ties are unacceptable. The fact that we can tie a football game that finishes 40-40, a great game, barn burner shootout, fun game to watch, great offense, and we're going to finish that game in a tie is unbelievable, and I'm sick of it, and it shouldn't be a thing. I don't know why. You do all this talk about player safety and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. You don't care about player safety. You care about money, and no one wants to watch ties. Do the college rules or something. That's unbelievable. That game, if I was the Cowboys or if I was the Packers, and you're going to think I'm just saying this because I'm frustrated, I'm being so serious, I would have gone for it on 4th and 14 100 times out of 100 before I tied a football game. I'll lose before I tie. I'd rather go lay my head down and go to sleep with a loss on my record than a tie.
Pure stupidity.
I don't care. It made
Ladies
me
and gentlemen,
so mad.
I grew up in an age of ties. I could not stand them then. It should be a playoff to where a system to where they play till there's a winner. I never really enjoyed watching soccer because they could end in ties, or hockey. Sometimes before, maybe I'm wrong on hockey, but anyways, at least soccer. But I don't know, but I don't like ties. When I was growing up, they'd say a tie's like kissing your sister. But I remember lots of games that ended in ties, 6-6, 14-14, and until they never agree with it. But what people don't know, and Sir Isaac's not going to understand it, but it's all about money, and it's all about TV allotted times. And they can't allow one game to eat up all the advertisements and all the other markets for the other games that are later.
Then change the rules.
I'm sorry to tell you, it is about the time slots, the money, the TV, the revenue. That's all it's about. Or they'd play all day. They'd be like college and they'd have 7 overtimes. Those folks aren't going anywhere in a tie. They're not tired. It's not like folks aren't going to watch it. Hey, let's watch 3 hours of the game and then let's not finish it because it's in overtime and nobody scored. The only reason is for the advertising revenue of allotted game spots. That's it.
Then change the rules.
Sorry.
It's so dumb.
They'll tell you it is advantageous to tie in some areas because you can win. It's whoever has the most losses. So if you're 9-6-1 and the other folks are 9-7, you win. There's where the tie can be beneficial, and that's why it would be pure stupidity for you to throw the game.
I can't
At that
hear.
point, you have to adjust the strategy in order to have the best advantage throughout the year. What is the ultimate goal, Sir Isaac, the guru?
Yeah, the season?
Yes.
The Super Bowl.
To win the Super Bowl. That is everybody's goal. Sometimes you have to lose battles to win the war.
Then lose the battle. Don't tie the battle.
Oh, he got me. Shot in the dark, and who's to blame? You give love a bad name.
Lose the battle.
Lose the battle.
And you can still win the war, but don't tie the battle. What are you going to do? Walk over to the other side and be like, there's one guy left on the battlefield. You go both shake hands and you say, hey, man, go back and tell your country that you just tied. No. Ties are dumb. And if it's like the Jets versus the Panthers and it's a 6-6 game that you talked about, that's one thing because that's not a fun football game. We're all sitting here ready to throw up watching that football game. But 40-40 versus two good teams or two decent teams, you can't tie. You can't do it.
You just did, and you didn't like it.
It makes me so mad. But anyways,
well, they changed
on.
15 rules a year in the NFL. You're liable to get your wish next year.
They better.
I thought they were going to change the name football because they were trying to remove kicking. It's called football for a reason. It's called handball. That's a different sport.
Even though 95% of the game is with the ball in your hands, but whatever.
Here we go, oblong freak. The bottom long is shapes matter. Verbiage matters. Football, handball.
Anyways.
Again, let's just tell about it. We're driving on parkways and parking in driveways.
Soccer is football.
You're eating jumbo shrimp and you're dealing with wireless cable. Go to Iceland and see how green it is. Go to Greenland and see how
White.
icy it is. Deception, Isaac, is everywhere. The whole strategic game plans of every football team is to strategically have an advantage by the game plan, maneuvering their players into the best position to win.
Bottom line is ties are stupid, and that's it. Iceland can be green and Greenland can be icy, but ties are stupid.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it here first.
Let's move right past the analogy of I want to lose rather than tie.
And I stand by that. But Giants versus Chargers was kind of fun just because the Giants, in a weird way, having the, as Pat McAfee refers to them on his show, exciting whites, which shouldn't get anyone canceled nowadays. It's a joke. We're discrediting our race. But anyways.
Again, Phee told him Jackson Dart would be starting by game 4. Phee right again. Jackson Dart's going to be a superstar in New York. He's got the look. He's got the it factor. He's got the arm. He can make every throw. His footwork is adequate. He can move in the pocket. I'm right there to tell you he was the best option. I'm not anything about our boy Wilson, but Mr. Dart is going to be a success in the Big Apple.
I think if I was the Giants, which I know that their coach has a different opinion because he's playing for his job, but if I was the Giants, I probably would have put in Jameis and just waited to save Jackson Dart. Not because I think Jackson Dart's not the answer. I think Jackson Dart is.
One thing about Sir Isaac the Guru is he stands by his word from week to week, because the very first time we talked about Wilson being removed, you said, what is wrong with folks with Jameson? And I don't care if he throws 20 interceptions, if he throws 40 touchdowns. You said it right here.
Or trade him. If you're committed to Jackson Dart now, please do us all a favor and send Jameis to a team. Send him to the Bengals. Send him to somewhere where we got these backup quarterbacks right now, and we'd rather watch someone sling it around. Like, don't keep him on the bench in New York. Jameis is, I don't think he's a 10-year starting quarterback in the NFL, but he is not a third-string quarterback. That's ridiculous. You know how many other third-string quarterbacks he's better than in the NFL? Like every single one of them. So that's frustrating me. But
he's better than 75% of the backups. They just can't pay his contract.
Yeah, but Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo is a fun duo to watch. It's almost funny. Like, you almost want to laugh.
Two little white boys in the Big Apple.
Yeah, I
bet they're complete opposite personalities.
They are. That's the funny thing is you've got Jackson Dart taking a snap with his fancy eye paint and $10,000 chain on, and Mr. Pretty Boy, and then you've got Cam Scatterbo behind him, who literally you can hear like audibly foaming at the mouth to get the football in his hands and go hit as many people as humanly possible in the same play.
Wonder which personalities we are, folks.
Yeah, I'm definitely the pretty boy with the chain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's just a funny. And I really do hate, not just saying this to be funny because you had him on your team. Seriously, I hate that Malik Neighbors got hurt because I don't think the Giants are gonna. They're not gonna make the playoffs or make a run. But that's a fun. You can talk me into watching the Giants with those 3 players.
They have a defense, folks, that's better than most people give them credit for.
I mean, they would have won 7 games, and they would have missed the playoffs, but I would have enjoyed watching them play football. So I hate that he got hurt. I still will enjoy watching them, but he's exciting, and they're exciting. So
again, Phee just continues saying it. When Michael Jordan came in, and Phee told him that he was the best player, and he, of course, won Rookie of the Year, but then he got hurt with an Achilles, and he came back for a couple of weeks, didn't look that good. And people started saying, this is a Larry Bird and this is a Magic Johnson. People are overrated. They couldn't wait to jump on. People don't realize how Detroit and Boston treated MJ when he was young and how many critics he had. They just all disappear when you have a legend now at 62. But I can assure you that there was times where that insecurity came from the greats just as well as they do anybody else.
I'll tell you one thing one person you're not going to get sympathy from, though, in the fact that you lost him on your team is me.
Malik Neighbors, I will stand by my point, is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL right now, and nobody knows it. And because of this injury, they might not know it for another couple of years. But I'm comparing the same exact.
Top 3?
Top 3. It's what I said before the year started. He is top 3 in the league. And you would put Jefferson and Chase in front of him.
CD?
Never. Not even close. See, there you go again. You're the Boston Celtics after they won 2 Super Bowls. I'm telling you, Malik Neighbors is.
How are you defining talent?
I'm telling you, he does everything better than C.D. Lamb, and I promise you, his career will be better if he stays healthy. But CD's already on third base, so you think he's got a head start.
You're going to only lose me because of your top 3. Can we just say, like,
He's
consensus top 10, and that'd be really good?
No. Anybody would say top 7. Anybody with any sense would say top 7.
A.J. Brown is a better wide receiver.
A.J. Brown is a
talent.
phenomenal talent. I've been telling people that before he had a good careers. I'm just ahead of the curve. I was way ahead of the curve on A.J. Brown. Now he's just like you, boy, that you want to talk about, this C.D. Lamb. Yeah, I guess you like Dak Prescott too. I'm here to tell you right now, there's not more talented wide receivers in the NFL besides Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson than Malik Neighbors. Now, it might take you another 3 years before you agree with me, but that is the fact.
Yeah, he's really good. But I mean, I feel like we're just discrediting a lot of people who've been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
But he's good.
You have to be ahead.
He's not very good right now.
Go ahead. Okay, Guru. He's hurt right now for a season-ending injury, and I lose by 1, and you're taking pride and happy and excited about that. Fluffing your feathers up and lathering. You lathered me up one time real good and took a real spanking for it. You want to keep doing it?
You should have.
You didn't show up for 2 weeks.
1 week.
Okay. It was 2 weeks before we did shows.
Giants or Eagles and Bucks was fun. Those are 2 pretty good teams. I hate that the Bucks got a little banged up because I think they're super fun to watch. Baker's a blast to watch. He kind of actually made a out-of-character mistake at the end of that game. They had a chance to go down and extend the game, and he threw a pretty silly interception in the end zone. But I had Rams and Colts too. Was a fun game. Matt Stafford can still sling the ball around. It's actually kind of ridiculous how good his arm is. But also just so much respect for him, by the way. Me and one of my buddies was talking about this the other day. The fact that he stuck it out in Detroit as long as he did and didn't complain or gripe or whatever, and he's so tough, and then finally he gets a chance to go to a better team. I just respect the heck out of it. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just so admirable.
Absolutely.
And then Chiefs Ravens.
Guru doesn't give a lot of praise out either, folks. So that's high praise right there.
Chiefs Ravens I felt like that was a huge game for just the outlook of both those teams. I mean, they were both 1-2 at the beginning of that game, and that's insane just to say out loud. But they both had played the best teams in the league, so yeah, they were 1-2. But it was like, okay, which team's going to come out and look, better? The Ravens actually, something about when they play the Chiefs, it's actually so disappointing. I'm actually I still like the Ravens, but I'm kind of tired of the Ravens a little bit because they change their identity when they play these big games. I don't know why they do it, but they are a great team at running the football. And I do get that when you're in a lead, you have the ability to run the football and chew the clock. But I don't know if that is what you're the best at. When you're down a touchdown or you're down 10 and you're in the second quarter, run the football. They handed the ball off to Derrick Henry like 8 times in that game. I just don't. They do that. They've done that for the past 3 or 4 years where they play in the playoffs. They play these big games and they just change what they do. You're good at what you do. Being good at it is what got you to that point. Don't stop doing it. And they do it every single time. It just makes it kind of gets a little old to watch. But Lamar obviously got a little bit hurt.
A little hurt. There's my other superstar. Doubtful for this week, a little hurt.
Yeah, but I have him in one of my 74
Baltimore's
leagues
defense has disappeared.
Their defense is bad.
Here's what Phee says last week. Real simple. Folks, you don't have to think about this game. All you have to do is just play KC and go enjoy some barbecue because they don't lose back-to-back in Arrowhead.
No, and they looked – not only did Baltimore look silly in the way that they approached the game, Kansas City looked really good. Patrick Mahomes looked really good. Xavier Worthy, whether it was just a one-game sample size, but him being back actually looked like it dramatically
makes
changed.
A difference.
Yes, and now it makes me more excited for when if Rashee Rice comes back and is as effective as he was before he got in his drama, you're talking about it's like what the goodness gracious, the Chargers have right now, where you've got really good guys at every level of the field in the passing game or receivers, and Detroit kind of does too. They only have two though, but you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's great at the short and medium routes, and then you've got Jameson Williams, who is lightning fast and can take the top off. But Kansas City last year they lost Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy was a rookie, and they just didn't look like they had a lot of options. No discredit to Juju Smith-Schuster because he's doing well, but you've got Juju as your middle of the field guy, and he's past the point where he should be someone's number one middle of the field guy. But Rashee Rice is great at that. If you get him back and he looks good, then you've got Xavier Worthy in his second year as the deep threat. Then you've even got some backup deep threats like Hollywood Brown. You've got Travis Kelce for the short and middle routes. They should have, if everyone stays healthy, they should be in the best place offensively that they've been in the last couple of years. The only thing that they still can't do is run the ball, which is so crazy that they haven't.
The specialty of a lot of offensive linemen is their number one goal is to protect Patrick Mahomes. But you're exactly right. There's a reason why, because they've got adequate running backs, and they don't consistently run the ball well. They choose, I believe, as the first option, put the ball in your best player's hands,
and that's respectable.
And then they draft late in the first round, and they always go for a quality receiver to give him more weapons. The more weapons he has, the better they're going to get. I know that's one of your favorite teams, one of my favorite teams. They will be in the playoffs. I do think that they're getting into the point where they are now. They're no longer on an upside; they're just plateauing, and I'm not so sure they'll ever be Super Bowl favorites again. But I think they'll always be amongst the top three.
There's going to be a bunch of people happy if they do in the Super Bowl this year, because I guarantee the amount of people that bet them as a future when they were 1-2, I bet you a lot of people decided to take that opportunity. But anyways, moving on to this week, the game that's going on right now, and I'm not going to change my opinion on it, even though I'm looking at the score.
What is the score?
7-0, the 49ers are up.
7-0 as the 49ers used to own. I'm talking they used to own the Rams, and for the last 3 or 4 meetings, the Rams have put them in their place, been a thorn in their side. Tonight, that game is in the SoFi?
LA, yeah.
What's the line?
It was the Rams -8.5, and that's what I took, was the Rams -8.5.
I would have taken San Francisco plus more than, I tell you, I'll take San Francisco plus 8.5.
The only bad thing, and of course this is making me look dumb now that they're winning, but the injuries.
That line should be 2.5 to 3.5.
They have nobody.
Purdy's out, and
Purdy's out, and
McCaffrey out too.
No, he's the only guy they have. They have their
starting
3 wide receivers are out. I think he's out.
Goodness.
Ricky Pearsall's out.
Well,
Kittle's out.
That's an automatic win for the 49ers then, because that's a trap game. There'd be nobody that would play that, because that line's wild. I mean, that's a 2.5, 3-point line. 5 years in a row. You're going to turn to 8.5.
I still wouldn't be shocked if the Rams still cover that.
No, well, I promise you that the Rams are going to score 24.
It's just that they're so hurt is the only thing. It's not that I think the 49ers are bad, but they're Mac Jones.
Is Mac the quarterback?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yes.
8.5, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, right here on the Phee Speak Network with the Phee Sportsball with Sir Isaac the Guru, informs Phee that Mac Jones, former quarterback at Alabama, is now starting his second or third straight week.
Third, I think, but Brock Purdy started last week, but now he's out again.
Out again. And McCaffrey's still playing. They still got that defense, or they have them out too?
They're banged up too, but I don't know.
Folks, the Rams got a better defense than most folks think. The 49ers got a phenomenal defense too. That's a low-scoring game. You give me over a touchdown, I'll take the 8.5, but I'm telling you right now, if Mac Jones is the quarterback, I don't expect him to score more than 21, and the Rams can score 40.
Yeah, they're just so hurt. But this was one of my favorite interview clips of the year. Mac Jones 2 weeks ago threw a bad interception. I think they ended up winning the game, but he threw a pick, and they interviewed him, and he said he discredited the defensive back. He said it's not even like he made a good play. He's like, I threw the ball right at him. Like, he caught the ball. He's supposed to catch the ball. And then he was like, and also, to be fair, I spun it too. Like, he was like complimenting his throw that he threw straight at a defensive back and took away the credit from the defensive back. I was like, you got to have some delusional confidence to get in an interview and say that you spun it and that he should have made the catch because your throw was so bad.
Okay.
I mean, I was just like,
I like that. I mean, he's basically, hey, I hit him between the numbers if he should catch it, but yet he is playing on defense. I spun it pretty good. So you just don't know the context there, but the bottom line is Mac is not he's not going to put up a lot of points because they know the defenses know now that he's got happy feet.
Mac will never be a very effective quarterback.
He's a backup, and he's not bad. I mean, if he's the top 50 in the world.
You know who's better than him as a backup?
Jameis Winston.
Thank you. Yes, he is. Mac Jones is just not very good. But they're winning right now. So
all right. Well, you heard his pick now. And he likes them, even though they're losing 7-0. I like the confidence, but that's what they call stubbornness.
It is stubbornness, and it also makes you look smarter when you're right, which I will be. But Broncos at the Eagles. I'm only talking about it because, it's a good football game, but I'm so excited to be there. It'll be my first NFL game, which is crazy because I've always loved sports and I've always loved football, and I don't know how I haven't been to an NFL game, but sure enough, I haven't. And of all the sports towns to go to one end, I'm pumped that it's in Philly.
Great. Philly Phee, one of my nicknames. Got plenty of T-shirts with Philly on them. When I was a little kid, had the plastic Phillies helmet, red plastic, cost me $6 at a Cardinals game. I'm here to tell you, I like Philly. And my son and wonderful daughter-in-law, when they moved places, they win. And folks just, they won a Super Bowl.
Like
I mean, they just, if my daughter goes to OKC, they win a world championship in basketball. When my boy was out there with his wife getting a master's at USC in California, the Rams won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everywhere they go, they win world championships or Super Bowls.
Except for when they're in Arkansas.
Again, you raise them the best you can, but that's bottom line is it's Arkansas.
But I'm pumped. And
I love my home state.
The Philly has 2 home baseball playoff games this weekend too, so the city should be a blast.
They're a big enough city to endure them all because Nebraska's can have hockey, football, basketball. Let me tell you, they eat it up. Now, their Philly cheesesteaks are a little overrated.
No,
They're a little overrated. You've got to get to the real deal. Go on out on the street vendor and get you one. Because if you order one in a restaurant, it's just like a Philly cheesesteak down there at Ed's Drive-In on Towson.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But that'll be a fun game. I think Philly should
They
cover.
do have some great London tea, though.
I don't support the Brits.
Just trying to tell you. Go get you a London Fog.
Philly should cover.
Nice over
3.5.
But you're pulling for a home team there. You're going to be wearing green. I'm not certain you're going to walk in that rascal with the other team's colors on.
No, but I will walk in there with Arkansas.
Is there a chance that Philadelphia can lose that game as well as they're playing when Sir Isaac flies through the skies to the Eagles?
Me being there almost guarantees they lose the game.
Oh, no. See, I don't like that from the tongue. I want you to say out loud, with me going guarantees that Eagles fly, and we will have a great time, and we will celebrate victory and success. And if we don't, we're not going to see them win. We're going to see them play.
Are you a believer in
I am a believer
statistics
of the
and
power of the tongue and the faith and believing. Yes, I am one of most. I speak.
well, you like trends, right?
I
Are you
love. I mean, that's what I play: streaks, trends,
well, let me tell
algorithms,
you the
math.
trend of Isaac Montgomery, which is in fact the opposite of your
Sir Isaac
children.
the Guru is opposite
Oh
to the
yeah,
children.
but everywhere I go, they lose.
It's because you're associating yourself with living in the home state that they hadn't won a national championship in. You're putting too much emphasis on where you live winning. I guarantee you've been very excited with the Kansas City's success in the Super Bowl.
That's why I don't go to Kansas City.
And you enjoy fantasy football. It has nothing to do with you being at present.
I think it does.
Have you ever been to an Arkansas game and they've won?
I think we beat like the School of the Blind one time in the preseason when I was there.
How many? How large is this sample size? I mean, if you're 0 for 22, folks,
It's best that we don't talk about
I want
it.
to pivot my stance.
It's best that we don't talk about it.
Okay, okay. Again, you learn new things here at the Feast Me Network all the time. Sir Isaac believes that no matter where he goes and who he roots for, the other team wins. Phee is just the opposite. Phee will tell you wherever he goes is the best place there is to live. He will tell you it's the finest folks around. I enjoy Sir Isaac the Guru, and I promise you when he flies down and lands in Philadelphia, goes and watches the Eagles with my oldest son hanging out at my son and his daughter-in-law's home, there will be a great weekend of celebration.
Oh, that's no. There's no question about that. I just am hoping that Drew's positivity outweighs my curse. And I think it will.
His energy is there, baby. The momentum is there.
Next game, crazy.
I like that pick, by the way, -3.5.
Yeah, I think it'll be a low-scoring game because they both have good defenses, but they should be able to cover that. Next game, crazy line alert, by the way, with Lamar being out, but the Texans are 2.5-point favorites in Baltimore.
Who's Baltimore's backup quarterback?
I don't know, and I also don't think that it matters for me.
Okay, Houston has a phenomenal defense, brother.
And a miserable offense.
I know.
But it's not, I'm not even trying to discredit Houston with this pick. It's more of Harbaugh is a really good coach, and they really don't lose a lot of football games in general. I even remember when Lamar's been hurt in the past, they put in Tyler Huntley, and he ended up making a Pro Bowl appearance because like 4 people opted out of going to the whatever
COVID.
But they don't lose a lot, and it's not even that I dislike the Texans. I've actually been picking the Texans in the last couple weeks, but I just cannot see. We were talking about the Chiefs, and like if you could imagine yourself saying that the Chiefs are 1-3, it's kind of the same for me with the Ravens. I can't picture myself in a world where at home the Ravens slip to being 1-4. I just can't. Whether Lamar plays or not, I can't see it. And it has nothing to do with the Texans, like I keep saying. It's more just that's a great football town. They've been good for a long time. They've got a great coach. I just can't, especially as a dog. Man, I don't know.
Folks, here to tell you right now at the Feast Me Network that, in sports handicapping and just in life, that sometimes your picks can make you look real bad. And so Phee at the start of the year tells you that he picks 4 AFC teams and 4 NFC teams before the season starts as part of the Super Bowl pool. And Cincinnati and Baltimore were 2 of the 4. And I believe if you're looking at that game, everything in your trap game mentality would tell you that without Lamar there, that Houston's defense is the reason that line is there. You and I, because of our belief in Baltimore and the coach, I don't understand where their defense has gone to, but I will say this, maybe they'll wake up this weekend. You have to play Baltimore at home plus points.
100%.
There is no question. If you lose, you just take the loss and move on.
I don't even think I'll be mad about it.
It's just like if Kansas City would have taken the loss last week, I'd have just moved on because the play is obvious to me.
100%.
Kansas City, it's obvious this week. It's Baltimore at home. They don't go 1-4 unless I'm just wrong.
Same.
And I've been wrong before.
You're in the same boat as me. That's how I feel about it. It's kind of like Pittsburgh or Mike Tomlin's another one of those coaches that whenever they're like having a rough look and you get them at home as a dog, they're another one that it's like, I'm just not going to bet against the Steelers at home like as a dog. I'm not going to do it ever. And the Ravens, unless it's against like Buffalo or the Chiefs, but against the Texans, no. I'm going with the Ravens. And then the last fun game I got of the week is Commanders and Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites at home. Jaden Daniels is supposed to play, but with like a brace. But the Commanders haven't even looked that bad without him. And it's just a fun game because the Chargers are coming off a loss that they shouldn't have had. I think they kind of like got caught sleeping a little bit against the Giants. And you kind of had the perfect combo of new quarterback always brings, well, not always. A lot of the times, new quarterback brings a little bit of a spark, especially when everyone is kind of really sick of the other one. It's a little different if it's like an injury.
It's electric.
Yeah, so he brings a spark, and then the Chargers, I think, just didn't show up to play because they just looked rough. But so you're getting the Chargers off of a loss.
When a West Coast team goes to an East Coast city and plays a 12 o'clock game, there are always trends that will tell you to play the East Coast team.
Yeah.
Because the Chargers are much better than they showed, and the Giants have a quality defense that no one talks about.
Yeah, the Chargers are.
They're an up-and-coming team.
They're just good.
He knows how to win in the NFL. He's got a great quarterback. He has weapons. They have a running game. They have an adequate defense. The Chargers should win that football game.
I think so too. But on to my picks, I got Philly minus 3.5. We said that one. I went ahead and went with an over/under pick. The Vikings and the Browns. It looks like an Iowa football game over/under. It's at 35.5.
Is it London at 8 a.m. American Eastern Time or Central Time?
Oh, is that one overseas?
Yeah, I think it starts at like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. Our time.
Oh yeah,
So,
that is.
Minnesota will win that football game going away, and I don't know how many points will be scored at 35.5. There's a reason that line. There's your trap game there, early morning, different time zone. Again, Minnesota's offense, that's probably an over game. If I was going to play it, I would play the over. But that right there tells you Vegas doesn't set 35.5 unless it's an international game.
That's one of those that in like this is me being, I don't even think it's stubborn, it's just me rooting for fun football. I can never take the under on a game like that because I'm going to root for points.
Amateur.
I'm just going to root for points. I can't.
Amateur.
What do I want to watch a football game?
Do you know that 80% of the public's just like you, that they will play overs, and Vegas knows it, the algorithms know it, AI knows it. They're going to always they know that they can get 1.5 extra points because the public wants the game to go over. They want to be entertained. It is no longer a 17-14 final, and people say that's one of the greatest games in the history of football. Now it's got to be 52-51, and people love it.
Well, sometimes you got to – see, I don't even feel that way, but –
well, you were talking about 40-40 ending in OT, tied, you were going nuts about it.
Yeah, because it's stupid. But
there's 80 points in a game, and you're talking about 35 at the line?
35.5. I am completely content with being stupid and following the public opinion and rooting for the over, because you will never catch me betting and rooting for under 35.5. Never. Ever.
Some people like to win money. Some people like to be wrong.
I'll just win all my other games and lose that one then.
It's fair.
Giants plus 1.5 versus the Jets.
Well, what a line. You said the Giants are playing the Jets and the line's 1.5?
Yeah.
Let's take the Giants right now.
Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Okay. The Giants versus the Saints.
Thank you.
They are 1.5 point dogs versus the Saints.
I'll take the Giants as my lock of the week.
Yes, that's what I'd put it in wrong because the next game is the Cowboys. And here, you ready for another Cowboys trap?
Okay.
I fell for the last one against the Bears, lost.
Yeah.
And I'm about to fall for it again.
Okay.
Cowboys minus 2.5 in New York versus the Jets.
Okay.
I'm
the over.
I'm going to fall for it again.
Take the over. Whatever the over is, because the Cowboys, if I played that game, I'd play the Cowboys to win by a field goal. But if Dak Prescott goes to New York and throws 4 interceptions, the Jets will win again. I mean, I'll tell you, when Jets one of you just don't want to play with or without them. You just don't know what team shows up. You just don't.
Really bad.
Again.
Last week, I actually felt bad for their head coach, even though it's kind of his fault. But all the penalties that they had.
I like his head coach.
Yeah, I do too. But
he's a Texas A&M cornerback that made it good in the NFL.
Oh, never mind. He's overrated then.
He's naggy.
The flag.
He didn't know that.
So for procedural
changed his whole opinion of Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, no, I don't like him. I got the Ravens plus 2.5 at home, and then Chiefs minus 3.5 versus the Jags. I think the Jags think that they're a little bit better than they are at the moment, and I think the Chiefs just got woke up a little bit.
Folks, it won't surprise me if the Chiefs roll off 7 in a row. Take the Chiefs, and if they win by a field goal, which a lot of times they do, they'll win a lot of games by 3 and 4. You still got to play the Chiefs. You don't play the dadgun Jaguars. Where's that game?
In Jacksonville.
At what time?
Oh, of course I clicked on that.
Is that line more
Monday
than a field
night.
goal? Monday night?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, Monday Night Football. Check the Chiefs' record on Monday Night Football. I think you'll want to play the Chiefs if it's if it's less than a field goal. What is the line?
2.5 or 3.5.
3.5. There's your hook, boys and girls. There's your more than a field goal where most scores land in 3s and 7s. See, so they got the hook. If you're going to play, you might buy the half point, get it down to 3. But KC wins that game probably by 10 points to 2 touchdowns. KC's fixing to go on a roll.
As a favorite, Mahomes is 8-2 straight up when favored in Monday Night Football.
8-2 is a good record. See, wonder why Phee had to look that up.
With Mahomes under center, the Chiefs have an average point differential of +5 on Monday Night Football. In his career, he's 9-3 on Monday Night Football.
There you go. I think the statistics are backing up what Phee would tell you, blind as a bat.
And then last ones I got, they're upsets, but all the lines are small. But Giants money line, they're a dog versus the Saints. I don't understand how anyone could bet on the Saints right now, and that's saying a lot if I'm going to bet on the Giants. The Ravens money line, and then the Bucks are going to Seattle. I think they're like a 2.5 point dog. They're injured right now. Baker didn't practice yesterday, but people still think he's going to play. They're hurt. Their wide receivers are hurt. Bucky Irving's hurt. But I feel like if Baker plays, Baker as a dog on the road, I'll rock with him. I'll take the Bucks.
What's the line?
I think they're +2.5. Seahawks are a favorite.
At Seattle?
In Seattle, yeah.
I'll take Seattle minus the 2.5 all day long and twice on Sunday.
Well, then you better get ready to bet it twice.
I'm not a bettor.
Me either.
I'm just a talk smacker. I'm a nickel and dime and 2-line rhymer. So the guru's the one playing the $2 a game and the $5 and the nickels and the dimes.
Did you hear me?
What?
14-0 San Francisco.
Again, Phee picks the 49ers. I mean, that line, plus 8.5. If you'd have said 3.5, I'd have questioned, but 8.5, no question. I mean, that's easy. It's an easy play. Makes you look real bad, Guru, but not near as bad as when Phee said the very first week, Clemson will show up and show out and beat Georgia Tech like a drum. And
that was a bad look.
Guru looked at me and said, Georgia Tech wins outright. Collect your money. on Saturday night. So that's what happened in the face. Of course, I would like to have an editor. I'd like to cut that stuff out, but we'll probably end up showing it on the bloopers because we're going to have a lot of fun with our hot takes, which are sometimes good and sometimes bad. But one thing about it is, Sir Isaac, he's never sad. He likes to pick. He likes to choose. Sometimes he'll even actually
like
give
to
you
lose.
some. Yeah. Do you hear him finishing up? Thank you. Finishing up. Finishing up. All right. Did we get through with every deadgum game in the
We're
NFL
through.
you
We're
wanted?
done. We're done.
Moving on to fantasy football. Isaac's so happy
I'm not.
in the league that I'm playing with him in. He's bringing up the caboose. He's 1-3. He's struggling every single week. But I'm sure when the other 37 leagues he's in, he's undefeated. So tell me about your fantasy life
I
this
really
days.
just want to tell you about my 2 losses that I took last week that were, and it's really sad to say this, but this happens a lot with me, and I do really think that it's some form of, it's something, it's a curse or something, because
We're going to change that mentality right here on
the
Facebook Network,
ways
folks.
that I lose is what's the worst. I
Called
hate
bad beats. He doesn't remember the good ones that he actually wins.
I hate losing, but when I lose this last week, I'll just tell you about the 2. I played Seth, one of my best friends, and in our league.
One of my students is now playing professional basketball in Europe, and we'll have him on the show as we had Mr. President tonight. We'll continue to bring on the brilliance of the young crew, the next generation.
I had the highest scoring week that I've had this season against Seth, and
you lost.
Yes, and the way that I lost is Seth needed.
By what, less than a half point or less than a point?
Let me get there. Okay. Seth needed Devon Achane to score 16 points against me on Monday Night Football doubleheader. He had about 8 points until I think the 4th quarter. He scored a rushing touchdown, got it to where he was. It came down to the last drive, and he was losing to me. They hand the ball to Devon Achane twice in the last drive, and he breaks off 2 back-to-back 10 and 15 yarders. He takes the lead by like 0.5 against me. Devon Achane then fumbles the football.
Minus points.
And they pick it up.
Again, at this point, he's so excited thinking that the momentum is with me. I never get this lucky. This is my lucky break.
And they scoop it up. And so I end up losing that league by half a point in my best week of the year. Meanwhile, I'm looking across the other matchups in the league, and I think I would have beat every single other person other than Andy. But
everybody but 2.
Anyways, if the season hasn't been going how it's been going, it wouldn't have been that bad, but I just can't catch a break right now, so wasn't very happy. So then, my other league I'm not even paying attention to. It's one of my good money leagues, and he had Garrett Wilson, and he needed 17 to beat me. I think like the statistics had me favored to win by like 95% or something like that. And I'm sitting here watching me and Seth's matchup.
The law of probability.
Not even paying attention to Garrett Wilson, because the little bit that I'm watching that game, he's not catching any footballs. They forgot he's on the field. They're not throwing it his way. He catches a touchdown, puts him close to me, but then they get pinned in the they basically have a hook and ladder situation where he's losing to me by, I think it was like 2 points or something like that. All they have left is 1 play, a couple seconds on the clock, hook and ladder. Well, they do happen to throw the first pass of the hook and ladder to Garrett Wilson for about 30 yards. He catches it and then continues to pitch it backwards to his teammates. So I ended up losing that league by like 0.3 points because of a first pass attempt on a hook and ladder to his guy for 37 yards, I think. So back-to-back Monday night games.
That's rough.
I lost both those leagues.
I mean, I'm telling you what, what is the law of large numbers? Tell you the probability of that happening. I'm telling you, Sir Isaac Guru, if you're in this game long enough, you just see everything. You see golfers just dribble it off the tee that are professionals that can make $15, $20 million a year. I watched Michael Jordan go to the free throw line with no time left on the clock, down 1, and miss both free throws. I've seen LeBron James go to the free throw line and shoot air balls.
It just happens too much to me, and that's the thing. I remember last year there was one, you may not even remember it, but Will told you to pick up somebody
And
on
he
your
had a great
team
week.
against
That's
me.
my
and-
youngest boy,
and-
another absolute guru when it comes to sports.
And you wouldn't have picked him up. Will told you to pick him up. You pick him up, and then you still, I think, if I remember correctly, I don't remember the exact numbers, but you still ended up beating me by like 3/4 of a point because of the guy that Will told you to pick up. But the craziest thing about this week is I wasn't even watching my other league because there was just, I literally was not concerned about it. I was concerned about the matchup with Seth. Forgot about the other one because there was just no chance. And then on the last play of the game, because of the hook and ladder, I lost a fantasy matchup by less than a point. And
Hard to do that, folks. The
really
hook
is.
and ladder part of that story makes that very unique, very exceptional. That would make anybody think that I am absolutely having a real rough season.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever your fantasy football team has its number 1 or number 2 picks for the draft hurt for the season, that's a bad year for you unless you can really overcome or playing with people that don't know what they're doing. In this case, I hate it for my league neighbors from a fantasy standpoint, but what you just described to me is a Malik Neighbors type of season for you.
With CeeDee Lamb in my IR spot, too, which doesn't help the situation either.
Obviously a number 1 or 2 pick.
But anyways, enough about my losses.
Have no fear, this week is different for Sir Isaac as he travels to the Northeast.
Yeah, and currently I'm losing to Drew because Christian McCaffrey has 18 points in the first half. But it's fine.
If he's
I'll lose
healthy,
again.
he's one of the best. If he's not, the best ability, folks, is availability.
I just put a couple notes on a couple of players. I put that Bijan Robinson is just a stud. Like, he's so good.
You stick with your guns.
They
Had him bet the best running back in the NFL.
He had like 100 and something receiving yards.
He's very good.
He's
He
super
certainly got good talent.
But I'll tell you who looks like the best running back right now in the NFL, and I'm being so serious, is James Cook.
Talked about him first week.
Which I know, so we both like him, and you're super high on him. He's always been super effective because he's pretty good running, but he also has great hands. Right now, I'm not sure that running the ball, he doesn't look like the best runner. I mean, he looks
He's
amazing.
the younger brother of another Cook that had a better career at Florida State.
He looks incredible right now. I mean, really, like, just his jump cuts and everything. Like, he just looks amazing at the moment. And then I put Puka Nacua on there just because.
Who do I feel bad for is because Derek King Henry has fumbled more this early in the season than he did all last season. He takes a lot of pride in his work. He takes a lot of pride that he hasn't had any types of fumbling problem. That's contributed to Baltimore's losses. I will tell you that will change. Great players do not continue to make those mistakes.
No.
Now, if he goes down, they'll say, well, he's too old. He couldn't hold on to the ball, and now he's hurt. I mean, but if he stays healthy, he's a phenomenal running back also. And Lamar will come back, and Baltimore will go on a big run. They're that good, but people don't see it yet because they're prisoners of the moment.
And just hand him the ball. Not to get back on that, but I just looked it up because I was remembered, like, the first play of that entire game, he broke like a 20-yard run or something. He had 8 carries for 42 yards. 8 carries only.
Folks, I've seen it throughout the years with Derrick Henry's career. That's just abnormal, but it happens a couple times a year. I'll tell you what you'll find when you have quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and like Lamar Jackson. When they want the ball in those folks' hands, they want to get too creative as an offense. They want to go away from what's strictly fundamental football, which is run the ball more than 3 yards a carry. And I promise you that you won't have a problem making first downs. But, I mean, that's not Sir Isaac the Guru's 3 keys to winning a football game, but it's certainly one of Phee's. You have to control the line of scrimmage. You have to eliminate turnovers. And you have to basically win the special teams battle. There's your 3 keys and your formula winning a football game.
Yeah, I agree. But you also one thing that should be added to that is don't change what you're good at. Like, if you have two of the best runners in the entire NFL in your backfield, it's a dream team of runners. Run the ball.
Folks, for years, Baltimore has come all the way to the doorstep of the Super Bowl, and when they get there, what they find is they lose, and what they say every year and have drafted every year is Lamar needs help as a wide receiver. At wide receiver, Lamar needs help. They've gone out and gotten them. Now, you're not happy with the amount of reps and plays they're taking away from what you know is dominant and works by having those receivers. I mean, I can remember when Rashad Bateman came out and he was going to be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And then before him, it was Hollywood Brown going to be a superstar. And then they went and got a tight end that was supposed to be a superstar. And before you know it, Lamar's not going to be as young as he is. And they still haven't found, I think Mr. Flowers came to play, but he's still just a basically top-tier second receiver.
And I'm going to say it again. This is the last time I promise I'm going to say it, but they frustrate me because they built their team to be a running team with they didn't spend their money on the receivers. They spent their money on the offensive line and Lamar and the running back. So your receivers are good enough to do what they're supposed to do, which is
under rookie contracts.
And you pound the rock, and then your receivers, Zay Flowers, all of his best catches in his career are little short routes where the whole defense crashes and he has 15 yards of space because they think that they're running it. You didn't build your receivers to throw the ball 40 times a game. That's not the receivers that you have on your team. That's not what you built the team for. So run the football. Even if you're losing by a touchdown, that's okay. That happens in football sometimes. I know that may be mind-blowing to them apparently. But you can be losing by a touchdown, hand the ball off, go score a touchdown, and then you're in the position you want to be. Don't throw the ball 40 times.
You think any of that has to do with them limiting Lamar's opportunities to get hurt by running?
No, because if that was the case, they would hand it to Derrick Henry more. And they didn't. They only handed the ball off 8 times to one of the best bell cow running backs in the history of the NFL.
8 times is unacceptable. And how does that happen? We talked about it 2 weeks ago, how offensive coordinators during the game lose sight of what's really important, and how you at home with your football intelligence sees it real quick. You said it the same way the other day about a wide receiver. How can you not throw him the ball in the first half? How can you not give Derrick Henry the ball more than 8 times? But yet after the game, that is the result. Mm-hmm. Now, you know what's going on behind those closed doors. You know what those meeting rooms are saying, because the head coach is looking at him saying, 8 times?
Yeah.
Were we down 3 touchdowns throwing every play?
Yeah.
Trying to catch up?
It's crazy. But we've exhausted that game, but it did frustrate me. And I was rooting for the Chiefs, and it still frustrated me. I don't know.
He's never happy, folks. Remember, he bets one way with his emotionally, hoping he'll either win money if he's unhappy about his team losing, or he'll actually win money, but his team will lose. So it won't cost him anything for his emotional turmoil in the L.
Let me rattle through these dang starts of the week in fantasy so we can get the heck out of here.
We've got 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
Perfect. You got a timer up there?
It's his first time in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I tell you, it's week 3 for Phee and week 4 for he.
I had Matt Stafford, which still could be a good start of the week. And again, I ran through it a couple weeks ago, but since I haven't been here for a year. My starts of the week is not necessarily the best players in the NFL. It's the guys who you may be trying to make the decision of start them or sit them. That's kind of what I base it off of.
Comes up with a new segment on Phee's Sportsball with Sir Isaac Guru, and then disappears for a week after he gets spanked by Phee. Now he's back, wanting to continue the segment. Go right ahead, Guru. Thank you for explaining it again. These are Sir Isaac the Guru's players to watch.
I had Matt Stafford and Justin Fields at quarterback. Justin Fields just does enough in fantasy because he runs the ball so much that it's really hard to sit him on your bench and watch him get 18 points. I'm
going to promise you this. Justin Fields, I've been telling him since he was at Chicago, top 15 quarterback in the NFL. He just hadn't done it yet. He will.
I like them. At running back, I've got David Montgomery, Breece Hall, and Woody Marks. David Montgomery had a bad week last week, but they should being a lopsided game this week, and I think that the way that Dan Campbell has treated his two running backs in the past is he gives them both opportunities, despite when the other one's playing really well. He's pretty fair to both of them. So I would guess, because David Montgomery had a down week last week, that if they get on the 1 yard line, he's giving the ball to David Montgomery. It would not surprise me if he has 2 touchdowns.
One of the most underappreciated running backs because of the teams he's played for.
Mm-hmm.
He is a workhorse. He's an athletic young man that can carry the rock. But he's, at Chicago, you're not getting any love, and now at Detroit, he's sitting behind it, which Gibbs is a superstar.
Yes, he is.
But I tell you what, if he was, at a team that needs a running back, there's your answer.
Really cool attitude, by the way. I watched him in an interview a couple weeks ago, and just his kind of perspective on like his career and like what he's done and all that stuff. He just seems like I don't think I've ever heard him like a long form interview before, but he really impressed me. Like he became a player that I really like. He was super cool to listen to. But Breece Hall's another one. Unfortunately, their backup got hurt in a kind of nasty injury on Monday night, and so he's going to be kind of forced to be a workhorse back now. They clearly want to run the ball with Justin Fields and the running backs. I bet he has a good game. The Texans running back that is the backup, I think technically, behind Nick Chubb, but Woody Marks has looked really good. He also catches the ball a lot, and the Ravens are the 32nd ranked run defense in the NFL.
What happened to their defense?
I would bet that he has a good game, whether they win or lose, because if they're winning, they're going to hand the ball off against a bad run defense. If they're losing, they're going to throw the ball to him. So wide receivers, I put Jamison Williams for the Lions. He's open all the time.
Great offensive schemes for him.
I mean, he is open all the time. It just depends on whether they throw it to him or not. So he's due for a 60, 70-yard touchdown.
Where would you put their Detroit's receiving core ranked?
Not as high as their production is, because I think that if you put them on a different team, they wouldn't. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown on any team is elite.
You don't think Jameson Williams is elite?
I think he's good, really good, but like in a weird way, I think the Eagles receive. If we're going off receiving core, I think the Eagles receiving core is better than the Lions, but the production would make me look like an idiot because the Eagles don't throw the ball because they don't need to. But
they have Saquon.
Yeah, but I would take those two wide receivers over the Lions. I think they're top 10.
Top 10?
Confidently top 10. They may be 6, but they score a lot of points.
They remind me of Miami with Marino and those little boys, and it looks to me like with Detroit's scheme, those folks from a stats box, they're gonna eat up some dadgum stats. I mean, they're gonna be 8, 9 dadgum receptions, 80 to 120 yards most of the time. I like Detroit. Nobody likes Jared Goff.
Really
Nobody likes Jared Goff. And they don't. Wake up on Mr. Gibbs, because Detroit's here to stay. They're not going away. Phee Smith can tell you on the Phee Smith Network was Phee. Sportsball with Sir Isaac the Guru. Detroit is not going away. I know they're the Motor City. I do know they're losing culture for years and years and years. But that's not them anymore. They got the right man in the right city. They got the right scouting department. They understand how to draft and trade. They're not going away.
No, I agree. And their receivers are good. There's just several in the league that I think are better individuals, but they're...
You'd say CD and George Pickens, but they hadn't been together long enough for you to evaluate that.
I think the Bengals
on paper,
are better.
Anybody would. What about Minnesota?
The Rams are better.
Rams people are sleeping on the Rams receivers because they're young.
Yes, I think the Eagles are better. I don't think the Vikings are better. I think the Vikings have a better one, but I think that Jordan Addison, they're probably another one that's top 10. I just don't know that they're top 5.
See, I'm taking Detroit over all of them, including you, Dallas, with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know.
I'm picking them over all of them.
I think the Chargers are better.
Most people would. I'm just going to tell you, that Phee be wrong. He's obviously going to be wrong with Baltimore and Cincinnati if they don't. If Baltimore doesn't turn around, because Cincinnati's done, they're toast. They a nickel and diamond Phee and going down that wine. Because I'd be sleeping on that pick. I'm telling you, I had Joe Burrow being the second best quarterback in the NFL this year. Lasted 3 games.
Joe Burrow.
Sleepy Joe is what he knucklehead calls him.
It's really unfortunate.
Makes
I
it
feel
fun
so
about
bad
me.
for him.
Makes fun of Phee, but Joe Burrow is a quality
He's so
football
good.
quarterback.
He's so good. And he looks even better when their backup comes in and literally can't throw the ball in half a second because he's getting murdered every play. It makes Joe Burrow look like the best athlete on planet Earth.
Well, you got any more fantasy football, Sir Guru?
That's all I got.
All
Put
right,
Tyler
folks.
Warren in your lineup.
Tyler Warren in your lineup as he continues to tout the rookie for fantasy football at a tight end spot. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed Nights with Phee coming up at 9 p.m. tonight. And right now, we're going to say goodbye for Phee Sportsball with Sir Isaac Guru. Isaac, you've had a great week this week with your picks. I have a feeling you're going to win. Have safe travels with my oldest son. Enjoy the Eagles' victory and come back safely, my friend.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll bring the win to Philly. I won't bring the loss to him. But I'm also going to play out my southern accent when I'm up there.
They'll be buying him free drinks. You know what? You just never can tell about the boy. He'll be asking for sweet tea and Patty's Tavern. But anyway, folks, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. You guys be good.
Adios.